So guys, you might be wondering what is happening. The Igbos have come out and said, look, enough is enough. Nnamdi Kanu was unjustly sentenced to life imprisonment. We do not accept these very judgments. The Igbos have also called on the United States President and called on the United States government that they should come to the rescue of Nnamdi Kanu in Nigeria. And the Igbos have also cited the challenges that is currently happening in this very nation, and have cited how bandits keeps on attacking innocent people, and have cited how terrorists keeps on kidnapping innocent people, and have cited a whole lot of things to Donald Trump and the United States, telling Donald Trump and the United States that look at what is happening in Nigeria and look at how Nnamdi Kanu was unjustly sentenced by Justice James Omotosho. Well, I won't be wasting much of your time. Instead, I'll be allowing you to watch the video clip and also see for yourselves how they gathered and made a request to Donald Trump and the United States. And I'll be bringing you the details of that very communique that was signed to them, because I have the copies of what they actually said and the demand on what they actually sent to the US. But before then, there are two other video clips I will display for you guys to watch. The video clips are short. I find it necessary to display the video clips for you guys to watch, like also listen to what they had to say. And after watching this video clip, I'll be bringing you the full details of what they had to say. But before those two video clips, let me briefly play this very video in order for you to watch and have a glance of how they gathered and demanded the US to come to the aid of Nnamdi Kanu.
Who is Nnamdi Kanu? Nnamdi Kanu is an Igbo man who has been bold enough to call sin by its real name. Nnamdi Kanu is Samson the Strong of our generation. He has been carrying the burden of his entire people on his right shoulder. Nnamdi Kanu is the King Solomon of our time. Akanu Uche fully heard. Nnamdi Kanu asked only 3 questions. Everywhere turned upside down. Let the world clap for Nnamdi Kanu. In fact, your own past salute. Nnamdi Kanu, your own past salute. Ranka shidede. Ranka shidede. Ranka shidede. And for those who have been speculating some talks like, those who have been saying that the Igbos are divided in this struggle, that is not true. As far as Nnamdi Kanu's struggle is concerned, the Igbos are more united than any other tribe. Forget about the peaceful coexistence being showcased by others. It is only a deceitful peace, which security experts have confirmed to be hotter than an open war. So Nnamdi Kanu is one man and the only man we don't prove say human being One human being fit chop wetin community gather cook. In fact, a million bossa to this man. Bossa, bossa, bossa. Your fan base cut across all regions, religions, tribes, and languages. Those pricking three questions have revived our consciousness. In my next video, I will tell you the great impact that Nnamdi Kanu's three questions, I mean those questions that turn everything upside down, I will tell you the impact they have created across the country. Until then, thank you and God.
Biafra is not a crime. If Biafra is a crime, how do we call the people that go inside the bush to negotiate with Boko Haram? Biafra is not a crime. Yes, Biafra is not a crime. If Biafra is a crime, then tell me, how do we call the people that go into the forest? How do we call all the people that go inside the forest to negotiate with bandits, to negotiate with Boko Haram? How do we call them? Biafra is not a crime. Yes, Biafra is not a crime. We have three major tribes in Nigeria. We have Yoruba, Hausa, Igbo. If the Hausas rule the first tenor, the Yorubas should rule the second tenor. Then the Igbos should rule the third tenor. That is how we are going to fight for the betterment of the country. We should not sideline the Igbos. The Igbos is part of us. The Igbos, they are Nigerians. Biafra is not a crime. If Biafra is a crime, tell me the people that go into the bush to negotiate with the bandits, the people that go into the bush to negotiate with the Boko Haram, how do we call them? That is my question. Biafra is not a crime.
So guys, let's read out the details of today's session. Igbo leaders call for urgent US intervention in Nigeria. Condemn Nnamdi Kanu's life sentence. And I read in details. The Igbo intelligentsia operating under the umbrella of Igbo Leaders of Thoughts, ILT, has called for immediate international intervention in Nigeria, particularly from the United States, citing an imminent threat of national collapse remnants of the political crisis that preceded the Civil War and the 1966 pogroms against the Igbo. In a communique signed by ILT, President Professor Elochukwu Amochazi and Secretary Professor Jerry Chukwuokolo, the group warned of escalating killings, mass abductions, and terrorist control over territories, arguing that government inaction has brought the country to the brink. In quotes, they said, Nigeria has drifted dangerously toward full-scale collapse. The group said, pointing to incidents including the killing of soldiers, abduction of military officers, kidnapping of 25 female students in Kebbi, and widespread attacks on Christian communities in the Middle Belt and South. They noted that 101 Christians were killed within 14 days in a recent report by Inter-Society. ILT called on the US to pressure Nigeria leaders into long-delayed national restructuring, including returning security powers to states and regions, as originally agreed under 1967 Aburi Accord. The group emphasized that restructuring is the only way to prevent further descent into chaos. The elders welcomed US concern over Nigeria's security situation and urged the deployment of policy tools such as the Global Magnitsky Act and Executive Order 13886 to freeze assets, block financial transactions, revoke visas, and sanction individuals sponsoring terrorism. Measures, they said, could choke the infrastructure of terror without involving American troops. On the recent life sentence handed to IPOB leader Nnamdi Kanu, ILT condemned the judgments as unjust, illegal, and politically motivated. They cited earlier court rulings declaring his arrest unlawful, including a Kenyan court ruling against Kenya's collaboration in his rendition, and demanded his immediate release, compensation, and rehabilitation. The group further decried what it described as genocidal profiling and economic strangulation of Igbo businesses, linking it to anti-Igbo policies and Fulani expansionism. They insisted that the ideology of Biafra will persist as long as injustice against the Igbo continue. ILT also urged the Nigerian government to initiate serious ethno-regional dialogue to address the root causes of extremism and agitation, and warned against efforts to scapegoat the Igbo for nation's crisis. The group concluded with a stark warning in quotes: "The US must not hesitate to intervene physically, including invading Nigeria, to disperse the numerous bandits now harassing the nation. We cannot watch history repeat itself. We owe it to future generations to halt this slide into genocide and war." This was the message from the ILT, the Igbo group. At this point, you have heard, you have watched, and you have listened. What's your thoughts on what these Igbos have come out and pledged to the US? What's your thoughts on the Igbos' demand to the United States? Do tell me what you feel about this in the comment section below, because the Igbos have come out now and said, look, enough is enough. Nnamdi Kanu was unjustly arrested. Even the Kenyan High Court vindicated him. So therefore, why did you sentence him to life imprisonment? They have questioned Omotosho's sentencing of Nnamdi Kanu to life imprisonment, and they have asked the US to come to the intervention of Nnamdi Kanu. Do well to like this video, do well to share this video, and do well to hit the subscribe button below for more trending updates.